Welcome to Golden Flame Stars. In today's video, we uncover the explosive rivalries and bitter feuds that shaped rock history. From Roger Waters and David Gilmour's creative battles to Keith Richards and Mick Jagger's decades-long clashes, these legends prove that genius often comes with chaos. Behind every hit song lies tension, ego, and rebellion, fueling stories as unforgettable as the music itself. Which rock feud do you think burned the brightest? David Gilmour, guitarist and vocalist of Pink Floyd, brought the band its soulful melodies and iconic solos. His creative rift with Roger Waters split the group in the 80s. Now 79, he still records occasionally, while his strained relationship with Waters endures despite fans' hopes for peace. Roger Waters, co-founder of Pink Floyd, was the creative force behind iconic albums like The Wall. Yet his creative dominance led to bitter clashes with guitarist David Gilmour, prompting his departure in 1985, and even decades later, the two remain estranged. Now 81, Waters continues his solo career, with their feud remaining as legendary as their music. Don Henley, the perfectionist drummer and voice of the Eagles, often clashed with Glenn Frey's dominance. Their partnership, built on talent and ego, turned toxic behind the calm harmonies. Now 78, Henley admits respect but not affection. The tension between them defined the Eagles as much as their music. Dave Mustaine, Metallica's original lead guitarist, joined the band in 1981 but was fired in 1983 due to his volatile temper and clashes with James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich. Fueled by anger and betrayal, he vowed revenge, forming Megadeth, a thrash metal giant that would rival Metallica for decades. Now 64, his feud with Metallica is written into rock history. Paul McCartney, the Beatles' melodic genius, balanced creativity with relentless drive. His post-Beatles feud with John Lennon spilled into lyrics and interviews, blending affection with anger. Now 83, McCartney carries the band's legacy and memories of a friendship that shaped the world. Noel Gallagher, Oasis's chief songwriter and guitarist, shaped a generation with anthems like Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger. Years of clashes with Liam over control and ego fractured their brotherhood beyond repair. Now 58, Noel continues his solo path, their feud as iconic as their music. Liam Gallagher, frontman of Oasis, embodied Britpop's raw, rebellious attitude. His fiery temper and rivalry with brother Noel fueled both the band's rise and its downfall in 2009. Now 53, Liam remains defiant, still trading jabs with Noel as fans dream of a reunion. Roger Daltrey, The Who's powerhouse vocalist, gave voice to Townshend's anthems but rarely agreed with his vision. Their battles, creative and personal, were as fierce as their music, sometimes ending in backstage fights. Now 81, Daltrey remains The Who's voice, his love-hate bond with Townshend forever etched in rock history. Pete Townshend, guitarist and chief songwriter of The Who, shaped the band's explosive sound and rebellious spirit. But his constant clashes with singer Roger Daltrey over leadership and artistic control often turned physical. Now 80, Townshend still shares the stage with Daltrey, their rivalry echoing through every power chord. James Hetfield, Metallica's powerful frontman and rhythm guitarist, forged the band's raw, relentless sound. His clashes with drummer Lars Ulrich over creative control and direction often ignited behind-the-scenes tension. Now 62, Hetfield remains Metallica's driving force, his intensity as fierce as ever. James Hetfield, Metallica's powerful frontman and rhythm guitarist, forged the band's raw, relentless sound. His clashes with drummer Lars Ulrich over creative control and direction often ignited behind-the-scenes tension. Now 62, Hetfield remains Metallica's driving force, his intensity as fierce as ever. David Lee Roth, the wild and egocentric frontman of Van Halen, clashed bitterly with guitarist Eddie Van Halen. Behind the fame came endless arguments over style, credit, and control. Now 70, Roth still speaks of Eddie with mixed pride and resentment, their feud one of rock's loudest. Axl Rose, the powerhouse frontman of Guns N' Roses, drove the band's wild success with unmatched intensity. But his demand for control and clashes with guitarist Slash tore their partnership apart for decades. Now 63, Axl still commands the stage, their volatile history forever part of rock legend. Slash, the top-hatted guitar icon of Guns N' Roses, defined the band's sound with his electrifying riffs and cool swagger. Creative disputes and personal tensions with Axl Rose ended their bond in the 90s. Now 60, Slash still tours the world, his reunion with Axl a fragile piece born of legacy. Lindsey Buckingham, the perfectionist behind Fleetwood Mac's intricate sound, pushed the band to both brilliance and chaos. His breakup with Stevie Nicks bled into their music, fueling hits like Go Your Own Way. Now 76, Buckingham continues to perform, their complicated bond still hauntingly unresolved. Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac's mystical voice, turned heartbreak and tension into timeless poetry. Her tumultuous past with Lindsey Buckingham defined the band's most emotional songs. Now 77, Nicks remains a solo icon, her story with Lindsey still echoing through every lyric. Keith Richards, the heart and riff machine of the Rolling Stones, defined the band's gritty, blues-driven sound. His decades-long friendship with Mick Jagger often turned to rivalry over leadership and lifestyle. Now 81, Richards still shares the stage with Jagger, proof that some battles never truly end. Mick Jagger, the charismatic frontman of the Rolling Stones, steered the band with ambition and style. His power struggles with Keith Richards fueled both creative fire and personal resentment. Now 82, Jagger remains the ultimate showman. Their love-hate partnership still rocks most enduring. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith's flamboyant frontman, embodied rock's wildest energy and excess. His volatile relationship with guitarist Joe Perry led to explosive fights and temporary breakups. Now 77, Tyler still roars on stage, their clashes forever part of Aerosmith's legend. Joe Perry, Aerosmith's toxic twin guitarist, fueled the band with swagger and bluesy power. Years of ego, addiction, and conflict with Steven Tyler nearly tore them apart. Now 74, Perry keeps the riffs alive, their stormy brotherhood etched into rock history. Eric Clapton, one of rock's greatest guitarists, found himself at odds with former friend George Harrison after falling in love with Harrison's wife, Pattie Boyd. Their complicated triangle blurred friendship and betrayal. Now 80, Clapton reflects on those turbulent years, his rivalry with Harrison forever written into rock's emotional history. Iggy Pop, the godfather of punk, often clashed with bandmates in the Stooges over chaos, drugs, and direction. But his most infamous feud was with David Bowie, equal parts admiration and resentment. Now 78, Iggy admits Bowie's influence shaped him, even as their friendship burned hot and cold. Brian May, Queen's brilliant guitarist, endured years of creative tension with Freddie Mercury. Their clash between precision and flamboyance pushed Queen's music to its limits. Now 78, May honors Mercury's genius, but recalls the battles that made their partnership both legendary and painful. Phil Collins, Genesis's drummer turned frontman, faced harsh backlash from his own bandmates and critics who accused him of selling out. His strained relationship with Peter Gabriel lingered for decades. Now 74, Collins acknowledges the rivalry, but credits it for driving both men toward greatness. Jon Bon Jovi, the voice behind arena rock anthems, battled a long feud with guitarist Richie Sambora over control and direction. Their friendship crumbled under fame's pressure and creative disagreements. Now 63, Bon Jovi continues to lead his band, though his bond with Sambora remains fractured. Eric Burdon, the gritty voice of the Animals, clashed bitterly with keyboardist Alan Price over fame and money. The split left lasting resentment, ending one of the 1960s most soulful rock collaborations. Now 84, Burdon still performs, carrying the sting of betrayal behind his bluesy growl. Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin's guitar sorcerer, faced growing tension with vocalist Robert Plant over control and the band's sound. Their partnership, built on power and mystique, often teetered between magic and madness. Now 81, Page guards Zeppelin's legacy, though his uneasy bond with Plant lingers in silence. Robert Plant, the golden voice of Led Zeppelin, grew weary of Jimmy Page's obsession with the band's past. Their creative visions split after Zeppelin's breakup, fueling years of distance. Now 77, Plant celebrates his freedom while acknowledging the chemistry and conflict that defined their glory days. Roger Taylor, Queen's powerhouse drummer, helped define 1970s rock with thunderous beats. At 76, he manages stamina issues and age-related health concerns. Despite slowing down, he still performs with Queen plus Adam Lambert, keeping the band's legendary spirit alive for new generations. Sting, frontman of The Police and solo star, emerged in the late 1970s. At 73, he remains in excellent health, crediting yoga and disciplined living. Unlike many of his peers, he has avoided major illnesses, still touring worldwide with remarkable energy and graceful endurance. Bono, U2's charismatic frontman, rose to stardom in the 1980s. At 65, he lives with glaucoma and underwent back surgeries, requiring careful management of his health. Despite these challenges, he still performs passionately, balancing activism with music while inspiring audiences around the world. The Edge, U2's groundbreaking guitarist, helped shape 1980s rock with his distinctive sound. Now 64, he remains in relatively good health compared to peers, showing only the natural slowing of age. He continues touring with U2, proving his creativity and innovation are undiminished. Bruce Springsteen, the Boss, rose to fame in the 1970s with his working-class anthems. At 75, he recently battled peptic ulcer disease, forcing him to pause touring. After recovery, he returned to the stage, embodying resilience and passion that have defined his career for decades. Billy Joel, the Piano Man, became a global star in the 1970s. Now 76, he lives with chronic hip pain and has overcome past struggles with alcohol. Still, he performs regularly at Madison Square Garden, delivering timeless music with undying devotion to fans. Grace Slick, born October 30th, 1939, iconic voice of Jefferson Airplane, now 85. Retired from music, she battles age-related health issues, including limited mobility. Though no longer performing, her fearless spirit and psychedelic rock legacy remain a guiding light for generations. Ringo Starr, born July 7th, 1940, drummer of the Beatles and peace advocate. At 85, he lives with arthritis that affects his drumming but stays active. He continues touring with his all-star band, spreading joy through music. Debbie Harry, born July 1st, 1945, legendary Blondie frontwoman, now 80. Still active in select shows, she manages arthritis and age-related fatigue but continues to perform with style. Her punk attitude and timeless hits keep her an enduring symbol of reinvention and rock. Cliff Richard, born October 14th, 1940, one of Britain's most enduring rock and pop stars. Now 84, he has faced health setbacks but continues to perform. His career, spanning over 6 decades, secures his place as a true international music legend. Bob Dylan, born May 24, 1941, Nobel laureate and folk rock pioneer. At 84, he faces typical age-related limitations but no major disclosed illnesses. He continues touring, his raspy voice carrying the weight of decades of poetic music. And Wilson, born June 19, 1950, powerful voice of Heart, now 75. After undergoing heart-related surgery, she remains in stable health and still records occasionally. Known for Barracuda and Alone, her soaring vocals continue to inspire as one of rock's strongest female voices. Paul Simon, born October 13, 1941, half of Simon and Garfunkel. At 83, he suffers from severe hearing loss in one ear. Though this affects live performance, he remains active in songwriting, exploring profound new themes. Graham Nash, born February 2, 1942, British-American rock singer. At 83, he maintains relatively good health, though naturally slowed by age. Still touring, he shares reflective new works alongside timeless classics. Chrissie Hynde, born September 7, 1951, Fearless Pretenders frontwoman, now 73. Staying active on stage, she manages mild age-related joint pain but remains vigorous. Her punk edge and melodic hits such as Brass and Pocket cement her place as a resilient rock trailblazer. Mike Love, born March 15, 1941, co-founder of the Beach Boys. At 84, he stays active in music, maintaining relatively good health. Still touring, he keeps California's sun-soaked sound alive. Eric Clapton, born March 30th, 1945, blues rock guitar legend. At 80, he struggles with peripheral neuropathy, causing pain and numbness. Despite this, he continues to play, his soulful guitar work inspiring across generations. Rod Stewart, born January 10th, 1945, raspy-voiced rock star. At 80, he survived thyroid cancer and prostate cancer. Still vibrant, he performs worldwide, blending rock with heartfelt ballads, proving resilience and charm endure. John Fogerty, born May 28, 1945, swamp rock legend. At 80, he remains in good health with only age-related slowdown. Performing globally, his anthems like Fortunate Son resonate across generations. Stephen Stills, born January 3, 1945, folk rock icon. At 80, he has faced hearing loss requiring hearing aids. Though less active on stage, his music legacy endures, and he continues performing selectively. Elton John, born March 25, 1947, global pop rock icon. At 78, he has overcome addiction and past health scares, including prostate cancer. Now retired from touring, he focuses on family and advocacy, his music timelessly enduring. Iggy Pop, born April 21, 1947, rock's enduring godfather of punk, continues to electrify audiences well into his 70s. At 78, he experiences scoliosis, causing one leg to be shorter than the other, and occasionally uses a cane for support. He's also had LASIK eye surgery to correct damage from past drug use. Alice Cooper, born February 4, 1948, theatrical shock rock pioneer. At 77, he has survived alcoholism and substance abuse, living sober for decades. Still energetic on stage, he tours worldwide, blending horror and rock with unique charisma. Ronnie Wood, born June 1, 1947, guitarist of the Rolling Stones. At 78, he is a two-time cancer survivor, having battled lung and small cell cancer. Today, he continues touring, his artistry undiminished. Neil Young, born November 12, 1945, Canadian-American rock legend. At 79, he has long managed epilepsy and past polio effects. Despite hearing loss, he remains outspoken and musically active, blending artistry with activism. Carlos Santana, born July 20, 1947, Latin rock guitar legend. At 78, he collapsed on stage in 2022 due to heat exhaustion and dehydration. He has since returned, continuing to perform with passion and soulful energy. Joe Walsh, born November 20, 1947, famed guitarist. At 77, he is sober after years of addiction struggles. Now healthier, he continues touring, admired for both humor and legendary riffs. Thanks for watching. These rock legends prove that behind the music lies ego, tension, and unforgettable drama. Their rivalries shaped rock history, turning conflict into creativity and chaos into timeless songs. If their stories fascinated you, drop a like, share your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more tales of rock's fiercest feuds.